of African descent access funding a lot easier. Now, how do we do this? Three platforms we use. Innovest Ignite the Accelerator, which is why you are here. And our accelerator program is a global accelerator program that provides the foundation for early stage founders to attract the investment they need to build global businesses. The program is, I'll talk more about the program, but basically that's the platform that we use to achieve this. During the program, you'll go through a period of training, mentoring, and connections with our network, our investment networks. And after the program, there'll be a demo day and the post-accelerator support. I'm going to breeze through this because I'll talk more deeply about it as we go along. We started our accelerator program in 2024 with 2 programs in Nigeria. We had a program in Lagos, which was the very first one, and did another one in Abuja. Last year, we did programs in Boston, Massachusetts. We did a program in Ghana and a program in South Africa. So far, we've done 3 programs. We've done 5 programs. We've had a footprint in our 4 countries, and we've worked about 70 startups so far. In our mentor pool, we have over 50 global mentors, and our mentors are based all over the world, Europe, Africa, the UK. So we have a global, very rich global pool of mentors that you would have an opportunity to have one-on-one sessions with. We're very, very gender focused. So we've been able to accelerate over 30% of our accelerator programs are women-led startups. We've invested in 2 companies since we started our programs. And what we consider a win is your speed to raise money immediately after the accelerator. And so far, we've had about $5 million follow-on funding through Cohorts with the average raise of $50K post-accelerator. So I think so far, we've by our standards, we've really attained what we wanted to attain. And we'll talk more about that as we go on. We've worked with a lot of founders. Some of the names are familiar. Some of them might not be as familiar as you are to you, but we've actually worked with quite a bit in a few years in operation. One of our big days are the demo days where we, expose our founders to our investment networks, and that's really where the magic happens. After the whole 8-week accelerator, your ability to come before the investors, make a case for what you're doing, showcase this, best possible way, and generate interest is where the magic really happens for the 8 weeks. And sometimes we allow our work to speak for itself. MTN Nigeria just had the last MTN Cloud Accelerator cohort. We had 5 of our alumni in that cohort, and 2 people actually got. I think they had grants from MTN, right? We've had people raising full-on funding from our cohorts. Blue Room Care, one of them, Jahazi, Yamify, Mona Kalati, Trashcoin. These are all people that have passed through the Innovest Ignite Accelerator. So a little bit about what we have done, and maybe we'll deep dive a bit into the program. So the program details, let's look at it. First of all, it's cost-free. There's no cost to participate in the program. But I always say that it's cost-free because somebody else has taken up the cost for participants. So it's not that it doesn't cost any money to make this program happen, but we are very fortunate and blessed to have partners and sponsors who actually fund this program on behalf of the accelerators. I say this so that founders who might be sitting on the fence should not deprive other people of the opportunity to join. And that's why we take our time to have this session, so you can have a good idea of what it takes, the commitment it will require, if you are a right fit for it. So you don't take up a spot for somebody else and think, oh, it's not being paid for, it's a free accelerator, so it's okay. We have a very rigorous selection process, and the people we choose to be a part of it, we would really appreciate if, they feel as strongly about the program as we do about what we're delivering to them. Eligibility criteria, we always talk about African descent, so we would want for at least one founder to be of African descent. In terms of stage, our accelerator is best for early stage startups. We know that founders have gone through different experiences, different journeys. There are different stages of building their startups, but we think this program is best for early stage. So, if your startup is still valued at under $1 million, or maybe you're hitting that 1.5 and you're still trying to, grow your network of investors, you're trying to know how to position yourselves properly, you're trying to expand your brand to beyond the shores of maybe your home country. This is a good program for you. We tell people that going through Innovest Ignite Accelerator is the exposure you need to get to the next level. If you've done an accelerator before, you've done 2, 3, 4 accelerators, we don't think this is the right program for you because you probably know a lot of things we're going to teach you here. But if you're just, you've started, you're about to just scale, go to the next level, we think this is the best place for you and you'll find it very valuable. The commitment is 8 weeks. It's a fully virtual. There might be some kind of getting together, but that's not like it's not binding. It's not like it must happen. But if cohorts want to get together, we can organize an in-person workshop and things like that. Maybe like a get together, a little sit out to familiarize and all of that. But the delivery is totally virtual. The cohort sizes, we do between 20 to 30 founders. We're looking at an average of 25 in this cohort. We'll talk more about it too, but there'll be 3 different cohorts running together. So each of the cohorts will be 25 to 30 founders. And the curriculum is really tailored, like I said, for early stage founders. It's really about, taking a second look at what you're doing. We know that you know a lot about what you're doing, you know why you're in business, but maybe looking at it from somebody else's lenses, and just let me review this from somebody else's view. That's how that's what the curriculum really focuses on rather. And we are open to startups of all sectors and all industries, but we always say that you should be addressing at least one UN SDG. So we wouldn't do, weapons of mass destruction and stuff like that. But once your startup addresses at least one UN SDG, we want to work with you. Some of the things that you would have access to during the program is the one-on-one mentor sessions. Our sessions you take ownership of them. We would do our best to match you with the right mentor, but we want you to take ownership of those sessions. So we're not going to sit in the sessions. We're not going to baby you. We're not going to say, hey, talk like this or don't talk like this. Rather, what we ask is, use that period to develop a relationship with your mentor. Because most of the mentors are investors themselves. They are people who have given founders in this program checks or sat on their boards or opened, connecting doors for them somewhere. So your sessions are, you take full ownership of those sessions. And you would have multiple sessions, not just one session with a mentor. You would have the opportunity to meet at least 3, 4 mentors in the course of the program. Same with investors, many of the mentors are actually investors. So it's good for you to begin to build those relationships, when you have that 30 minutes block or 15 minutes block with them to have a conversation. We do not automatically fund startups that go through this program. But what we do is, if we watch, we're going to be working with you. So obviously we would see your processes. We'll be able to conduct a deep due diligence process on you in the course of the program. And at the end of the program, we usually select startups that we say, you know what, we are going to work with you. We'd like to continue working with you further. If a startup is selected, then we give you a funding guarantee. Your next raise will be a part of it. And that funding guarantee is one of the biggest things you can get out there today, saying that, hey, Innovest Afrika has already committed to us that for our next funding round, they will give us XYZ amount or a percentage of what we raise. That's what we do. We don't do grants, or neither do we do automatic funding. And for our post-accelerator support, you join the Innovest Afrika ecosystem. Some of the things we do for you is continuous mentoring. I'm probably one of the most accessible program organizers out there. You can reach out to me at any time. Once you are a part of this, the alumni, I would assist with with introductions as much as you need. But you join the Innovest Afrika family, and we continue trying to help you succeed on your journey. So what are the criteria that we use to select who is a part of this accelerator program? We look at 6 things, and they carry different weights, but these are the 6 main things that we look at. Number 1 is your team, and looking at skill, expertise, your passion and your commitment. Number 2 is innovation and impact. There must be some sort of disruptive potential, and we like people that are solving real problems. It doesn't have to be like a trend, because everybody's doing AI today, I must do AI, If you can identify a real problem that needs to be solved, we want to work with people like that. And then we also like solutions that positively impact society. We're in Africa, development by every developmental index, we are still on the lower level. So we want to see people that are solving real life problems that will impact society very clearly. What's the market potential of what you're doing? Is there a clear market need? Would there be a fast customer adoption, even a fast tech rate adoption? Those are things we would like to see. We also want to work with people that have an MVP. So we don't really work with I just have an idea. If you have an idea, you're better off in an incubator. An accelerator program might not really be best for you. So you must have at least a functional MVP. It doesn't matter what stage you are on, but at least you have something that you've tested, and you have some kind of feedback on it. We also like startups that have a product market fit. So there's a clear value proposition, there's a defined customer segment, and there's a total pricing strategy. Basically, people are willing to pay for what you're selling. And the last thing is scalability. There must be clear growth potential. So what you're doing is not just what you think is needed, but the market also believes in it and needs it and is ready to pay for it. I would skip this slide, but this is our success methodology, how we succeed with you guys on the journey. So over the 8 weeks, there will be courses that you would take. They are very simple courses. It's really just about, like I said, they're more of reflections where, you do a reading, you reflect on your current process, and you just, are you doing it the right way, or are there things you should adjust? As you know, every business is different. Everybody's approach to, your environment will be different. Your business models will be different. But it's just it's more like a reflection, like for you to look back and think about, how, your processes and how effective they are. So week 1, we look at things like core value proposition, your business model. Week 2, product market fit, how to incorporate AI into your businesses. Week 3, effective market research, brand position and storytelling, sales funnel optimization, value-based pricing strategy. Week 5, we do our one-on-one mentoring. 6, foundations of financial modeling. Week 7, due diligence, and week 8 is really about preparing for the demo day. These are the courses that we take you through over the 8-week period. A very interesting, we'll talk about a very interesting collaboration that we are in and how it will benefit you guys in this particular cohort. But like I said, this year we're doing 4 cohorts, and we're going to be doing 3 of the cohorts at the same time. So we're going to be doing Nigeria, Rwanda, and Kenya at the same time, which makes it even more valuable for the founders because you have a bigger pool of founders to interact with. It's going to be roughly about 75 startups in 3 different cohorts. And you'll all be engaging the program at the same time. Some very interesting things that we have introduced this year. We introduced 2 components that are very interesting and we think will be very valuable to you. The first is a collaboration that we have with Babson College. Some of you may not know Babson College, but it's the #1 entrepreneurship college in the US. Yes, even higher than Stanford and the Harvards in terms of when it comes to entrepreneurship. But we are collaborating with Babson College, and they will be giving us access for the founders to take courses, executive education courses, and you would earn badges of participation for those courses. So you're literally getting a international education just by attending Innovest Afrika, and you're getting a badge to show that. The second thing that we'll be doing is a residency program. We call it the immersion residency. And with this, we have some of our partners, corporate partners, who by the time of the residency, we would introduce them to you, and you guys will have a chance to pick the partners that you think is best for you or is the best fit for what you're doing. And you will have the opportunity to either go there in person or host virtual sessions with them. But the goal of this residency is for you to engage with a corporate organization that may be doing something similar to what you're doing, and you can learn from them. So these are two developments that are starting with this cohort, and we think it's going to even make the outcomes a lot more valuable. I talked about our investment commitment, and at the end of the program, we look at the most qualified startups, and we would, go through a deeper due diligence with the qualified startups that we think are best ready. And your next raise, we would give you a funding guarantee. So we'll kind of match up 10% or whatever we determine. So we are not just about the accelerator. We also want to see you guys succeed. And of course, our demo days, we've had demo days in Ghana, in South Africa, multiple in Nigeria. And the key thing about the demo days is that aside you actually standing and pitching in front of people, which I think is a very good thing, it kind of sharpens your pitch skills. We try to bring relevant people into the room. So it's not one of those everybody demo days, but investors, industry experts, people who would actually look at you and can add value to what you're doing will be seated in that room. And after our demo days, we've had so many success stories of people, getting their first checks, making connections that powered their next process. And I think the last thing we'll talk about is the roadmap. Applications are already open. By May, the program will kick off onboarding. June, we do the core curriculum, immersion residency. We do the mentorship sessions too. And then July, we would have our demo days. So there'll be demo days in Lagos, demo days in Kigali, and demo days in Nairobi. So it'll be 3 demo days in 3 different countries. I think that's all I have for now. If I remember anything, I'll speak to it. But at this point, I think we can, if we have any questions, it would be nice to ask.
So Praise sent in a question on the chat box saying, does your idea need to be tech-enabled to be considered?
Yes. Yes. Just because the fastest way to scale is through tech. So if you are not tech-enabled, it will be I guess we'll have to review it, but by definition, a startup is a business that is trying to use tech to scale rapidly. So if you are not tech-enabled, or if there's no tech composition to your business, then it might be hard to see how you want to scale rapidly.
My question was that we're still working on the MVP. And so you said people who don't have an MVP at the moment, they cannot join. They can only join incubators. So I wanted to ask, when we finish the MVP, do we need to gain some traction in order to join the accelerator program? Or can we just join without any traction, but with a finalized MVP?
Okay, so I have a question for you. How far gone are you with your MVP, and have you done any kind of testing?
So we have We have the formula. However, we still need assistance with the production because we don't have the production facilities. So we're still trying to find that. So we have everything in check, but now we just need production facilities to be assisted with.
I mean, even if you don't have the product in terms of like a product for an MVP, and you have a proven, you have something that's proven, it's, you know exactly how this is going to work. You've done some kind of testing or some in-depth research. I would say still apply, but we don't want you to come with an idea. That's really the thing. We don't want you to come and say, hey, I have an idea to do so and so and so. If I'm making any sense, so ideas are for incubators. So an incubator will help you put the pieces together and say, okay, hey, you should have this as your partner, you should do this, you should do that, conduct a research. But we want to work with people who are, above that level. So if you've done your in-depth research, you've done some kind of testing, even if it's just like a model, like modeling, I think that's fine. You can still apply.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So Brian Adamu says in the chat, is it compulsory that the MVP must currently be in use by actual paying customers for it to be considered, or can the application be built and is in testing with the market? Similar.
Testing is fine. Paying customers is even better because it shows that you have something that people already want to use. But if you're still in testing, that's fine. I explained it that we just don't want people in the idea stage, like, I have an idea to do this. You should have gone beyond ideation. You should have started building, and more possibly, even if you have paying customers, even better. So the roadmap from here, in the next week or so, we will begin to review the applications, and there's been a lot of applications coming from candidates. So we'll review and we'll reach out to the candidates that meet our selection criteria. But you hear from us whether you are accepted or not accepted. You will definitely hear from us by the next 2 weeks. And then we would have a more in-depth interview with you where we would ask you more questions. You can kind of demo, kind of do a pitch for us. Show us what you've done so far. And then we wait for the start, which will be in May. Excuse me, sorry. The program will start in May.
Good evening. Please, can I say something? Or can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm Ogechi Welechi, the co-founder of Planbook. In regards to the criteria you made mention of, I want to ask if a Web3 startup is part of the criteria for Innovest Accelerator.
Yes, as long as it's tech-enabled, you're not producing reports of mass destruction. We want to work with you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions before we wrap up?
Faye, are we missing out anything? Is there anything I should be talking about that I skipped?
No, I think we've covered everything. The slides are very detailed as well, so thank you for taking us through. I think we can call it a day now. Thank you everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing your applications and hearing from you, and eventually having you with us in the Ignite Accelerator program.